Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. So are the latest carts playable on the Evercade Alpha? Are they worth buying? We're going to have a quick playthrough, all four, and I'll give you my opinion whether you should buy them for your new Evercade Alpha. Okay guys, first up we're going to have a look at Toaplan Arcade 3. Now this one was definitely a must buy on Evercade AXP, VS, that type of thing, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty much the same idea on the Alpha. But anyway, let's have a quick bash at some of the games and see how it handles. I'm pretty sure this will be fantastic stuff. Now obviously these games are vertical aspect ratio, yep, you've got big borders on the side, but it's not a massive problem because there is still plenty of screen there. It seems like the height and the ratio is perfect regardless of the fact we have got these huge borders. This is Batsigan. You can use that auto fire function as well by holding Y, which is great. Sounds absolutely amazing. And it handles so good on this joystick, really does. Excellent game, easily one of the best games I think on Evercade, and I'm not even a shooter fan. Another terrific game is Fixie. I really enjoyed this one. We'll have a quick bash at this. But this one is also fantastic stuff. Remember, stand on those those sort of multicolour squares and you can change your firepower. You can change character as well once you die. Bizarre stuff. Well, these bits are really tricky, but this is a fantastic game. Oh. I die lots in this game, but you can see, effects wise, graphically, it's really absolutely superb stuff. Have a quick look at Gox as well. This is a cool game. I found this game a little bit oversensitive perhaps using the D-pad. So I was just wondering how well it performed by using the joystick instead, and I happily to say I think it actually feels a little bit better on the joystick than it does on the D-pad. Still pretty tricky right enough to hit that ball back. Now, Outzone and Truxton 2 are both fantastic games, possibly the toughest games on the collection right enough. They are very, very challenging. So let's jump into the save. This is Truxton 2. Excellent, high quality shooters, but yeah, tough as heck. I died instantly. Probably saved that in the most silliest of places. Just make sure when you do your save states, don't save it in silly places, like I do. But effects wise, wow, absolutely mind blowing, brilliant stuff. But tricky as heck, you will die frequently. Unfortunately when you die you do lose a lot of your sort of pick-em-ups that you've got, your firepower, which is a bit rubbish, meaning you have to start again. It's better, if you get a run going, it definitely is a far better game, so trick is, don't die, obviously. See, overall guys, this is an excellent collection and definitely one to show off your Evercade Alpha. If you love your shooters, this would be the perfect collection for your Evercade Alpha. It is probably the best sort of Toaplan collection, perhaps the best collection for those shoot 'em ups for your Evercade Alpha. Superb stuff. Right guys, moving on to Data East Arcade 2. This one has 12 games, a right good mixture of games. However, some of the games are probably fairly average. That was how I sort of seen them when I reviewed them. They are very difficult. You've got games like B-Wings, Crude Buster, Edward Randy, Last Mission, Express Racer, Joe and Mac Returns, Midnight Resistance, and you've got a few others here. Some of them are really cool, some are very average, and some are a little bit difficult. There's no doubt some of these games are very, very tough. Now let's have a play through some of them. Let's have a look at Crude Buster. No doubt this looks fantastic. It's a beat 'em up. I love the fact that you can lift things up and basically chuck them. It's hilarious. You will die a lot in this game. This one is a coin guzzler. Sounds amazing too, looks amazing, very colourful, bright graphics, fantastic stuff. I just love to pick everything up that I see. But yeah, as I said, this one is soft as heck. Now for me, probably the standout game on this collection is Edward Randy, an action style adventure game, maybe like a little bit like Indiana Jones style. It's unbelievably good fun, and this is definitely one you'd want to play and show off your Evercade Alpha to. This is an amazingly great fun arcade game. As I said, looks great, sounds great, it's fantastic fun. Just a crazy adventure style game, an absolute blast as you can see there. It's not the hardest either, it's fairly straightforward, fairly easy to actually play. You can just insert a coin and continue as well. Okay, another game I probably should point out is Midnight Resistance. This uses the L1 and R1 button. Now they are on the end of the Alpha, which is fine. Now obviously you can play any of these games by adding a joypad if you're not happy with the joystick, but for the purpose of this video I'm really just playing them on the Alpha without adding any extras to it. So let's have a quick jump in. This one is a little bit tricky. I think the controls are just a bit oversensitive because you have to use the L1 and R1 to actually aim your fire, which makes it quite tricky to play. And I think at times it's just a little bit oversensitive. So get to the start here. Obviously B is fire, A is jump, so pretty straightforward, but if you want to change your aiming of the gun, you need to sort of scroll through the L1 and R1. Don't hold it down, it will just keep doing that. Now in the height, when things are ferocious, you might accidentally do that, and it's a little bit oversensitive to me, so the best way of doing it is just press it very lightly. But when you're in the height of the action, it just becomes almost impossible. Definitely need a little bit of practice regarding that. I'm not sure there's any other better way of doing it, to be honest, on these Evercade products, but yeah, it's just probably not ideal, and it makes the game a little bit trickier than it probably should be. I'd say probably this one isn't the best on the Alpha. Now interestingly, the Shootout was one I struggled with on the Evercade EXP just with the D-pad, but I think it actually handles a lot better on the joystick, so let's have a quick bash at it. Don't want to do the practice. I'd say definitely playing it with the joystick feels a little bit better. I think the responsive nature of it is a little bit better. You're supposed to hold down diagonally to shoot some of the enemies. I don't know, it definitely feels better on this than it does on the other, or using the D-pad on the VS or on the sort of handheld. Definitely think the joystick is far more, it's quicker to sort of move left and right and do the quick aim, because you have to be really quick to get those bad guys, otherwise you will die instantly, and if you die instantly you go back to the start, which is really frustrating as heck, and makes the game probably not the most enjoyable to actually play. So if you're lucky enough to get to the next stage, it's more of the same stuff. There's no doubt this is a very tough game. I wasn't a big fan of it on the EXP, definitely a little bit better on the Alpha with the joystick, happy to say. The Burger Time is a lot of fun as well. Trio the Punch, I suppose I should have a look at it because it is absolutely bonkers. Jeez. Don't ask what's going on, because I really don't know. I know you need to collect tarps. Oh, that wasn't good. Oh my god! This game is crazy. So guys, overall I'd say I would probably rate this a little bit higher than I did on the EXP and VS. It feels a little bit, I don't know, it just feels more in place on the Alpha than it does on the handhelds or the VS. It feels a little bit better. The joystick is probably more ideal for a lot of these games, although Midnight Resistance is probably the only one I felt just didn't feel right on here. I'm not sure they'd ever get it right. The controls are what they are, but it takes a little bit of getting used to. But I'd say it's a little bit better than I rated it for the Evercade EXP and VS for sure. Okay guys, moving on to Toaplan Arcade 4, 6 more games, and potentially probably the last Toaplan collection we'll see, I would have thought. We've got another couple of shooters here which are both really cool. Probably special effects wise, probably some of the best you'll see from Toaplan, but still two of the very toughest games there. Knuckle Bash is a nice sort of beat 'em up. Pippi and Bibbies is a platforming game with a little bit of saucy additions to it. Don't get too excited though, it's all cartoony, unless you love that type of thing. Sky Shark is a NES shooter. I'm not sure why that's on the arcade collection. A little bit of an addition, I guess. Snow Brothers, a single screen platformer, which is good fun. Basically it's Snow Brothers with more characters. But yeah, let's have a quick bash. I'm not going to play Dog Game because I'll probably embarrass myself. Let's have a quick look at Grindstormer. Sound wise, graphic wise, and special effects wise, this is probably one of the best shooters you'll see from Evercade. Sorry, it's from Toaplan, sorry. It really is spectacular stuff. If you want to show off your Evercade Alpha, have a bash at this game. Looks amazing. Very challenging, but yeah, you can just put in, insert a coin and continue gladly, unlike Dog Game. Okay, so a nice change to the Toaplan collection is we've got the Knuckle Bash game, which is a great fun, sort of a beat 'em up of sorts, and it's really, really cool, very good, and it plays fantastically well on the Alpha. You can see it looks terrific, sounds terrific, and it handles amazing on the joystick here. Definitely one to buy, I would say, just to play this game. It's so much fun. You've got 3 different characters to choose from, a couple of different game modes. What's not to love? You can play 2-player as well if you really, really want to. Oh damn. Absolutely amazing fun. We've also got the sort of Pip and Bibbies single screen sort of platforming style game. We're basically planting the bombs at the computers, get to the exit, move on to the next stage. And there's a little bit of a saucy addition to it. The better you do, you'll get to see more of this silhouette getting uncovered, but don't get too excited, it is the censored version that we have on Evercade. Plant the bombs. Oh, avoid the bad guys. You can push them down a level using your whatever that is, to be honest, I have no idea. I can't remember what it was called. Avoid something. But they do appear again, even though you get rid of the characters, they do appear again from the doors that you can see there. But yeah, once you've planted all the bombs, the exit will open at the bottom of the screen here, and then you can move on to the next level. And each sort of in between stages you get a little bit more of a reveal of the lovely cartoon lady. Probably the poorest game here is Sky Shark. This is the NES version. I'm not really sure it belongs on here, to be honest. This is an arcade collection rather than having console games on here. It just muddies the water a little bit if you ask me. Snow Brothers is quite good. It's a single screen sort of platformer. Basically get rid of all the enemies, move on to the next one. You've seen them all before. It's more of the same. It is pretty good, but you've probably seen them all before. We have tons of these games on Evercade, but overall I would say yes, this is a really nice collection. Definitely not as good as Toaplan 3, but it does have some really cool different games such as Knuckle Bash. I think that game is excellent. Probably I would buy it for that, and maybe Grindstormer as well. Two great games that are worthy of showing off your Evercade Alpha. Okay guys, so finally we're going to look at the Joe Collection Metal Dragon and Life on Mars. Now this isn't arcade, this is two Genesis games, but Metal Dragon is a sort of arcade style game. Life on Mars is a sort of Metroidvania game, so let's have a look at that one first, because obviously that one is probably meant for a D-pad like Metal Dragon, but let's have a look at it anyway and see how it handles the joystick. Happy to say that joystick does feel good. You can aim diagonally up in all the directions. You can't aim down the way. You get some extra weapons as you go through the game. Now I don't think the button placement is probably the best. Ideally you'd want, obviously A is jump, but ideally you would maybe want B as the fire, but at the moment the default fire button is X. Eventually I think you get some bombs for the B button, and then I think you use the shoulder button there on the end for grenades or a flamethrower. But at least the character does handle really well, there's no doubt about it. You just maybe need to get your fingers adjusted, or maybe even remap the buttons for this game how you would prefer it. It might make more sense once you get the additional power-ups through the game. As I said, you get grenades later on through the game which then get mapped to B button automatically, then you get your flamethrower as well. But the shoulder buttons, you can access the map, and oh, how do I get off there? And you got your flamethrower as well. This isn't the way of doing this boss, by the way, but yeah. You basically need to move, shoot, and then try and jump over it as well, as best you can. But you will die quickly in this boss. All the bosses are a little bit different. Once you work them out, they're pretty straightforward. But this game gets very tough near the end. So far it's probably taken me about 3-4 hours. You might be able to do it quicker on a speed run, I guess. But this game isn't huge by any stretch, but it's still very, very good, and I would recommend it. I would say it's probably better on the D-pad though, but it does handle fine on the joystick here. But I think the button layout, sometimes you get a little bit muddled to which button you're actually pressing. I think it definitely works better on VS or EXP. Now moving on to Metal Dragon. Now this will be absolutely no problem. This is an arcade style game, so it should be fine. Even though it's a Genesis title, it has that arcadey feel. It's meant to have that arcade feel anyway, but let's have a quick bash at it. Yep, it has that Metal Gear Solid vibes going on as well, and there's some bad language in here, so if you don't like that type of thing, you can just skip it. And yeah, it feels really good with the joystick. Not sure the button layout is quite right though. I mean, we've got X button as the sort of main fire button, which no, maybe it should be another button, so you may want to remap. But yeah, it's good. Looks great. It's very Commando Merc style. Maybe this is the way of doing it, run up the middle diagonally, or maybe not. I don't think this game is particularly long either. I'm sure it would maybe take 1 or 2 hours to actually complete. Probably isn't ideal, and as an overall cart, maybe not the best value at all, but still 2 really decent games, and they handle fine on the Alpha. You may want to think about getting the sort of controller for this, or the Evercade controller. It might play the games a little bit nicer, but for Metal Dragon, absolutely fine on the joystick. Okay guys, that's our look at the 4 newest collections on Evercade at the end of 2024. I would say definitely Toaplan Arcade 3 is the must buy, fantastic collection. Then perhaps I would look at Data East Arcade 2. This is a really nice collection, but there are some poor to average games on it, no doubt about it. 12 games. It plays better on the Alpha than it does on the XP in my opinion. Next up I would say yes, definitely Toaplan Arcade 4, although probably not the best value compared to 3. I would probably buy this one for Knuckle Bash and Grindstormer. Then finally I would look at Metal Dragon and Life on Mars. Maybe not the best for the Alpha, but 2 very good games nonetheless. Metal Dragon definitely suits it, Life on Mars maybe not so much. Still fine on the joystick, but I would probably recommend playing this on a controller instead. So that's a nice end to 2024 with these collections. Thanks very much for watching our videos guys. Let me know if you've got these and what you think. Bye for now.